Hi, everyone. Um, I'm sitting here formulating a dosage bottle blend for myself, and I thought, people may be interested in knowing what that process is and how it looks. So I thought I'd video it. First, I would be remiss and out of alignment in my relationship to this land base if I failed to say that I am coming to you from the land of the Papas Chase Cree, which is unceded, and that I would not be able to be here doing this work were it not for the I don't want to say sacrifices because that's not correct. The injustices that were thrust onto the Papas Chase Cree. And I am committed to using my privilege and power and my positions as a social worker as well as a human on this land base to make change through my own personal life and living, which involves a continuous learning, as well as through my actions, which involves constructing my life and the ways I live it around an intersectional understanding of and commitment to creating equity and justice for Indigenous peoples. Okay, so here's how this works. I use a pendulum to help me decide and formulate a final blend for people. Okay. And if you're using a pendulum, which is an energetic tool that in connection to your energy, your intentions, and your purposes will move to help indicate any particular direction. Like, you can ask yes or no questions. And, well, you have to ask yes or no questions, actually, because the pendulum's not going to expand on its answer. So you ask yes or no questions, and you get some direction from, let's say, universe, creator, great spirit, wise inner woman is who I like to commune with, Mother Earth. I ask for help. So this pendulum intentionally connected to those spiritual guides and processes in connection to my body shows me which way to go, basically. So I first infuse my intention into the pendulum. So I hold it like this. I get centered. And part of getting centered is making sure that my biases are as much as humanly possible cast aside, coming into my sense of spiritual oneness, with the pendulum and with the world around me, and then saying, and this is what I always say, I usually do it in my head. I always say, Mother Earth, Father Sky, Grandfather Sun, and Grandmother Moon, Divine Goddess Network, Sacred Universal Healing Energy, Creator, Great Spirit. Please move this pendulum in my highest and best good and in the highest and best good of the world around me at this time. And thank you. Now, if I'm making the blend for like Sally, let's say, then I will do the invocation or the intention setting like, please move this pendulum in the highest and best good and the highest and best good of the world around Sally. In the highest and best good of Sally and the world around Sally at this time, and thank you. Right? Since I'm making this blend for me, I ask it to move in my highest and best good and in the highest and best good of the world around me at this time. So not just me, but we need to have a community orientation. Okay, So then I test it, and I test the pendulum every single time that I use it. Why? Because we live in a cyclical existence and world where seasons change. As a woman, I have particular cycles. Other people have cycles. Context is ever changing. Change is the only constant. So if I rely on my relationality with the pendulum as it was 10 years ago, when yes was this way and no was that way, and that's all there was, that I'm not evolving in alignment with the cycles around me and within my own self. So I test it every single time, and I test it in this way. So I put my hand underneath. Now I've already connected with it, and I say, show me yes. And I wait. And when you wait, it's really important to connect into that center that hopefully has biases cast aside. Okay? Otherwise, because you don't want to be influencing the pendulum with your biases. Okay, we're all human. Like, there's blind spots. I'm not going to be able to see if at some level I'm influencing the pendulum, but I have to trust that there's a process here that helps me and has helped me for many, many, many years. Okay, so this is yes, this movement. And if I don't say thank you and stop it, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, thank you. And then I say, show me no. So what I'm seeing here is that no is for me, a counterclockwise circle. Okay, thank you. And then I do one additional one, which is show me hells yes. And I say it like that in my head because I find it humorous. So show me hells yes. Okay, and what I'm seeing here is that hells yes is a clockwise circle. Okay, thank you. Why do I test for hells yes? Because what I found over the years is that with flower essences, there can be many yeses to any given flower that I might be testing. So I might have like 10 flowers in the margin on my page of notes while I'm talking to a person. But I don't like to work with 10 flowers in a dosage bottle. And that's my personal and professional preference. I like to work with a maximum of 5, but usually I work with 3 to 4. So if I have 10 flowers in the margin, let's say all 10 flowers test yes. Well, it's true that all 10 flowers could be relevant for that person at that time. But which are the ones that are the best fit for that person right now and for the world around that person right now? And I've learned that hells yes is a way of testing what those minimal flowers that are the best fit are for that person. So I've added that over the years because with just yes and no, then my own judgments had to come into the process by being like, oh, well, I see here that 8 flowers tested yes, but I prefer to work with 3 to 4. So how am I going to whittle it down and prioritize those? And then I was using my own thoughts about what would be the best fit between the flowers and the person sitting across from me. But that's where my biases can get in the way. I want great spirit, which is the word I choose to use for universal energy. I want great spirit and what's in the highest and best good of that person to come forward and move the pendulum and show me what is best for them. I want to be a liaison between the flower world and the human world. And in order to do that, I need to clear out my mental biases and my thoughts about, well, this one seems like the best. And, despite my expertise, I want to really function as a clear channel between the two worlds. So that's where the hell's yes came in over the years. Okay, so today I have, I'm trying to address issues of lacking self-trust, chronic comparison, and thoughts of low self-worth, which has been an ongoing journey for me, like many people. So on the page I have Serato, which is for comparison, chronic comparison. I have Buttercup, which is a really good flower for connecting into one's own inherent worth. I have Larch, which is also for issues of low self-worth, but it's specific for finding one's confidence and worth through the pathway of the throat. So speaking one's truth and speaking one's confidence forward. Baby Blue Eyes, which is loosely considered to be a father essence. So it helps to heal issues relative to any kind of father figure or to the male anima in our lives and worlds and within our own selves. The so-called male anima, but you know, that is limited by a gender binary. So how can I say that differently? Connecting in with the qualities of assertion, of stability, of groundedness, of stability, assertion, and groundedness. I mean, those are qualities that the Baby Blue Eyes helps us to connect into within ourselves and possibly relative to any kind of father figure. So it has a lot to do with trust, issues of trust. Any issues of trust coming up, Baby Blue Eyes is a good fit. Clematis is for a deep sense of grounding and present moment awareness. And self-heal is for taking up the reins to what's that word? This is what perimenopausal woman looking for a word looks like. What's that word? Taking up the reins to spearhead one's own healing journey, right? With personal accountability. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flower essences that I have on the page for myself and my themes. I would like to work with 3 to 4. So this is that now how the testing is going to go, right? So we remember that yes is back and forth, no is a counterclockwise circle, and hell's yes is a clockwise circle. Okay, so I start and I just test each one. So I say, is the flower essence Serato the right flower essence for me at this time? At this time, I've found is an important distinction rather than is it a good flower essence for me, period? Because lots of flowers could be a good one for me. So is Serato the right flower essence for me at this time? Looks like hell's yes is the response. Interesting. Chronic comparison is what I'm suffering with right now. Okay, so thank you. Is the flower essence Buttercup the right flower essence for me at this time? And oftentimes the pendulum is responding before I get the question out. So looks like no is the answer. What? No, something's happening here. No is a counterclockwise circle. So what's up with this? What is this? Okay, sometimes that happens. It moves in a totally different way that wasn't part of the original testing process. Okay, let me try again. Let me get centered. Is the flower essence Buttercup the right flower essence for me at this time? Sometimes if that happens, I find closing my eyes can be helpful so that I'm not thinking into the process. Is the flower essence Buttercup the right flower essence for me at this time? Is the flower essence Buttercup the right flower essence for me at this time? It's moving in a counterclockwise circle now. It's kind of cool that that came up. It doesn't come up very often that it moves in a completely different way from the original directional testing, but it does happen. Thank you. And when it does, I'm like, okay, probably I need to get more centered. Okay, so that is testing as a no. Is the flower essence Larch the right flower essence for me at this time? Looks like that's testing hells yes. Thank you. Is the flower essence Baby Blue Eyes the right flower essence for me at this time? Looks like that is also testing hells yes. Thank you. Is the flower essence Clematis the right flower essence for me at this time? Looks like that is testing hells yes as well. Thank you. Is the flower essence Self Heal the right flower essence for me at this time? And that one is testing no. Okay, so what I came out with, hells yes to Serato, Larch, Baby Blue Eyes, and Clematis. So the final thing that I do is I test that as a blend. So what I say, and this verbiage has, I've clarified this verbiage over many, many, many years. Is the flower essences blend Serato, Larch, Baby Blue Eyes, and Clematis a whole and complete blend for me at this time? And it's saying hells yes. And the reason why over the years I have, thank you, clarified, added a hells yes, as well as testing if this is a whole and complete blend for me at this time, is because sometimes I will have, let's say, 3 flowers that test hells yes and 1 that tests yes and the rest no. And so then I say, oh, are these 3 flowers that are tested hells yes, is this a whole and complete blend for insert name at this time? And it will say no. So then I test it with the one that tested just yes, but not hells yes. I say, is this a complete blend? And by naming the 3 that tested hells yes and the one that tested yes, are these a whole and complete blend for insert name at this time? And it will test hells yes. So I don't know. Like, I don't presume to be able to explain energetics and what I consider to be spirituality. I think when I do try to explain it, I defeat it in many ways. So I've just learned to trust it for me, and that's what works for me as a practitioner and a human. So anyway, now I'm going to make myself a blend of Serato, Larch, Baby Blue Eyes, and Clematis based on this testing process. So I hope that's been in some way insightful as to what I'm doing and how I'm doing it when I'm making you your customized blend.